This video was created by VinylicPuma of VinylicPumaGaming.
So Fallout 4 has been out for about 8 to 9 months. While PC users have had mods since Fallout 4's launch, and Xbox One users have had access to mods for a little over a month, PS4 users are still waiting. This is strange, especially when you consider that according to VG charts, the PS4 version of Fallout 4 sold around 6.75 million copies, almost outselling both the Xbox One and PC versions combined. Now, today I want to go over some reasons why I think PS4 mods aren't out yet. Now, the topic for this video was pretty fun to research for as we get to dive into the console wars a bit. And yes, I am paid by Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, Bethesda, EA, Activision, and more. All jokes aside, these will be the 5 reasons why PS4 console mods haven't been released yet for Fallout 4. So the first thing I'm going to talk about here is Bethesda and Sony platforms. Now, traditionally, Sony PlayStation platforms have had gimped versions of Bethesda software. This was originally because of the PlayStation 3 hardware. After all, the Elder Scrolls Skyrim on PS3 had various memory and lag problems, almost to the point where the game would freeze after playing for a considerable amount of time. New Vegas, while developed by Obsidian and published by Bethesda, also had some problems running on the PS3, where both the Xbox and PC versions are more stable. Now, for Fallout 4's Far Harbor DLC, the fog on the PS4 version was causing major frame rate dips, and in order to fix it, you had to delete Far Harbor and then re-download it in order for the patch to apply. It seems kind of weird to me that you couldn't just apply a patch that would apply an update to remove the fog, and instead you had to totally delete the DLC and re-download it in order to get the patch to work properly. Now, this almost seems software related, and that's going to bring us to my second bit of reasoning here, and that is going to be the PS4's software architecture. Now, from a hardware perspective, the PS4, Xbox One, and PC all have similar x86 architecture. In fact, the PS4's GPU is superior to the Xbox One's. However, it is possible that Sony's software architecture is what's making mods appear on the PS4 version more difficult, and could be why the mods aren't out yet. Now, I've done a little bit of research, and it appears that the PS4's operating system runs something called Orbis OS, which is a modified version of another operating system called FreeBSD. And FreeBSD is a Unix-based operating system similar to something like Linux if you're a PC user, or Mac OS if you happen to be a Mac user. The PC version of Fallout 4 runs on Windows, and the Xbox One version also runs on Windows, albeit a modified version of Windows on the Xbox One. Now, making PC mods run on the Xbox One would seem to be much less daunting task because both of those platforms are still running on Windows, and the PS4 software architecture is more foreign, and it's likely the way mods would be implemented on PS4 would be different. After all, you have something that's more akin to like Linux, or something that you might see on a Mac computer. This also brings up an interesting side question, and that is, will it be more difficult to port existing PC and Xbox One mods to PS4 due to the difference in software architecture? Now, something we do know from some games media articles is that the PS4 has a mod size limit of 900 megabytes, which is roughly half the size available on the Xbox One, which is 2 gigabytes. My guess is that this is because of Sony's software. It is worth mentioning that Bethesda is working to increase the mod download limit on both platforms. Now, 900 megabytes and 2 gigabytes is not very much space. So hopefully they will change this after some time. Now, the third thing I want to talk about here is Bethesda and Microsoft platforms. Now, Todd Howard and Bethesda Game Studios have had a positive relationship with Microsoft and the Xbox division since the days of the original Xbox. This relationship is somewhat similar to what Jason Rubin and Naughty Dog have with Sony. Now, unlike Naughty Dog, Bethesda develops for Sony platforms in addition to the PC and the Xbox. Now, let's be real here. Why else did Todd Howard appear in the video clip for the Xbox Project Scorpio reveal, where he literally says, and I quote, "We're moving Fallout 4 to VR, and to have a console that can support that at the resolution and speed that we really want, I think that's going to be magical." I would say that the positive relationship between Bethesda and Microsoft is even why we got mods on the console versions of Fallout 4 in the first place. I think it's fair to say that Sony didn't really push for console mods, though when they saw that the Xbox One was getting them, they also felt that they should have them. I also think if Bethesda approached Sony to do console mods before they approached Microsoft, Sony might have actually turned them down. Now, keep in mind that that is speculation on my part. Now, the fourth thing here is probably going to be the biggest thing, and that is legal issues. Now, according to a Newsweek article, which I will link in the description, Todd Howard says the following, and I quote, "We work with platform holders. We worked with Microsoft on how the system would work, and that helped out a lot. We're working with Sony right now, but there's hurdles to get over with things like storage. And we need certain licenses, because the modders are being like a pseudo-developer, so you get some tricky legal things going on there." Now, this statement does confirm the storage disparity between PS4 and Xbox One. However, the licensing issue on PS4 could be the biggest problem. It could be that Bethesda has worked out all of the technical challenges of bringing mods to PS4, however, the issues now reside within the realm of litigation. If the proper legal agreements aren't in place, Sony or Bethesda could be liable for the mods that people create. If someone creates a nude mod, they might try to go after Bethesda and or Sony for distributing pornography. I could definitely see a court case for that, especially if somebody accuses Sony of being a fucking porn trafficker. I'm sorry, let's continue. Or if mods are created that are designed to brick someone's console, again, Sony and or Bethesda could be liable for that. Now, if you'll remember during Fallout 4's launch, the Major League Baseball Association tried to pursue charges against a modder for creating a David Ortiz-inspired Boston Red Sox mod, and this obviously resulted in that mod being removed from the Nexus. Now, obviously, Bethesda and Sony don't want to be sued, and they want to ensure the proper legal agreements are in place. Now, before we get into the final thing here, Sony is a Japanese company. It could be that Sony of America, or I guess like the American division, has green-lighted PS4 mods, but they are waiting on Sony of Japan to also green-light the mods, and there could be some kind of dispute there. Now, the final thing here is going to revolve around the console mods controversies. Now, so far there have been a lot of issues with mod developers having their creations downloaded and re-uploaded on other sites without their permission. And I can guarantee we will go through a similar thing when mods finally arrive on the PS4 version of Fallout 4. Certain popular mods will most likely be downloaded and ported by people other than the original creators to PS4 versions of Fallout 4. And I do tend to agree that there does need to be at least a little bit of regulation in this department. If anyone can claim that they made a mod, then what's the point in making a mod yourself? You can just go claim Anoctium and Dogtooth CG's Enclave XO2. There's also what I perceive to be a little bit of fear-mongering by some people, saying that PC gamers were making mods to crash some users' Xbox One consoles. And it could be that some Sony executive saw this and is putting a halt to mods appearing on their PlayStation 4 consoles. Now, once again, Sony doesn't want to get sued over some idiot trying to crash or damage their consumers' hardware. And considering that there have been some problems with developing mods for the PS4 version of the game, there could be a lot of crashes, and I mean, that could hurt Sony and Bethesda's image. Anyway, guys, that's going to pretty much wrap up this particular video. If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, and let me know what you think of PS4 mods. Do you think it's software related? Do you think it's legal litigation stuff, or what do you think it is? So leave that in the comments, but otherwise, take care, and I'll see y'all next time.